Oh my goodness. Child welfare just knocked on the door. They detained your children. You're sitting, you're so confused. It's like, what gives you the right to take my children? There are the 7 R's that I want to talk about. My name is Toyia Conway-Hampton, and as a reunified mother myself, I've learned these strategies and have used them, and there have been proven methods to change the way families navigate child welfare throughout the country. So not just here, but throughout the country. It's been an opportunity. And what I love about this work is, as child welfare is slowly shifting, some of the practices are still the same. So I want to talk about the first one. Your role. Your role as the parent is to be the one to advocate, navigate, and move through the process of child welfare expeditiously. For those of you who don't know what that means, quick, very quickly. Because that first 6 months are so important. It's like they give you up to 2 years depending on the situation because of the ASFA laws. But I want you to know that your role is pertinent. Don't feel like the social workers can say stuff, do stuff. You are the parent of that child. Your job is to advocate for them. No matter what, no matter how you feel, get out your feelings and get into some facts and figure out how to make those things work for your children. So your role is priority. Now, the social worker does have a role. Her role is to make sure that the kids are safe, that they're doing well and excelling in school, that they're meeting mental health. Now, even with those things that I mentioned, there's also protocols. It takes time to get those things to happen. So don't say she's not doing her job when this judge ordered her to do counseling on Friday, and by the time next Friday come, you think it's going to happen. No, everything has a system and it has a process. The most important role in this process is yours as a parent. Don't forget that. Don't sleep on that, and don't sleep on your children. The responsibility. Again, this all is about who you are as a mother or father. How responsible do you need to be in this process? You need to be accountable for what happened. I know, I didn't do it. It's people who's doing worse things than that. I believe it. I felt the same way. But at the end of the day, your responsibility is to navigate through the system. Go to your classes, go to courts, make your visits, communicate with the social worker, be honest about what's happening. And then the one that most people don't really want to do is really take a look within, because change is powerful and change is necessary. So, what are your rights? Your rights as a parent is to be able to visit with your children. Your rights is to, if you're in a reunification mode, the social worker will help you navigate. Sometimes they can provide you with resources. It has to be in order. Now, you can't say, oh, my rights, you got to give me money, pay for my classes. That's not the way it works. If you are working with a social worker and you don't really understand your rights, your responsibilities, and all of the resources that are available, then I want to encourage you to hit the link below. Reach out to us, figure out how we can help you navigate through this system, whether you're doing classes here on site with us, or you're looking for some more outside coaching and invitations to how can you be able to make that transition as a person. The resources that are available for you, again, you say to your worker, hey, you know what? I'm unable to pay for this class, that class, or that class. Now, some people say, do you got classes for Medi-Cal? Sometimes you do. I can speak for our agency right now. At this point, we do not accept Medi-Cal. Who knows what might happen a little later, but at this point, we do not accept Medi-Cal. But we offer a lot of services. We offer anger management, parenting, sexual abuse awareness, youth supportive services, She Navigators program, batterers for the abuser, and domestic violence for victims. So we offer these services for you and for your youth girls. So if you got those youth children, these are some resources available to you to get them the help that they need. Reunification. They bounced that word around so much. I didn't even know what reunification meant. They were like, reunification. What the heck does that mean? That means at the end of the case, your children are going home with you, placed with you, and no longer a ward of the court. Now, there's a couple opportunities for reunification. Once your case is in reunification, that means they can support you with services. They could help you with the resources that we talked about. Those rights that we talked about, a right to see your kid, a right to be at school, a right to understand what the medical needs and desires are for your child. All those things, when you're in a reunification process, you have access to it. If you extend that time, then you no longer have availability for all of those other things that I just covered, because at this point, they're just focusing on the child and not a reunification between the parent and the child. Racial disparity. Now, this is one of the things that got me into the work. So, having 7 children at the time of my own, being an African-American woman, I realized that I had a friend, one of my close friends, she was non-African-American, and I remember her treatment was different. I talked about wanting, because I'm a processor, I talk about what I want, I talk it through, I'm going to say I convinced myself that I want to do it, but I was talking through it, and she actually did it, but she got her kids back, and they made me wait, and I'm like, this don't make sense. I didn't really understand it. And then, as the process navigated, I recognized that some other non-African-American people were getting their case closed, their kids back, they was done, and it took me 14 months to even graduate a program. So my total amount of time with my kids in care, my case open, was 24 months. That's 2 years. That's a long time. That's a very long time for a situation. Now, granted, the first 9 months I was cutting a good road down. I felt like they didn't understand me, who they think they are, you don't know me, all of those things that a lot of parents have. But without help and understanding that there is some broken areas in the system, and I'm gonna be honest, just like in a lot of the systems, when it comes to racial profiling and biases and all those things, and at this time, this was me, so that was all me, boo. At that time, I was just recovering from gangbanging, so I was wearing khakis and Pendletons and boots. And so when I went up in there, the day that my kids were detained, they called 2 security guards, and I was ready to really, really lose it. But just the way my face was, because I had already been in a battle. A couple of days prior to that. But I felt like they did their best with what they could. So when it comes to racial disparity and disproportionality, you have to remember that there is more African-American families in the system than it is in the world of Los Angeles County. So say, for instance, there is 15% of African-Americans in the Antelope Valley, in LA County. 15% of the families that are in the city is African-American. But when you look at how many families that are in child welfare, it's like 23% of African-Americans. How is it more African-Americans in the system than it actually is in the community, right? So that's where that disproportionality and disparity come up for. So that's the reason why I chose to do this work, because I want to see all families go home. And I realize if we help this certain population and things change that way, the majority of the people get to go home, right? You help one group of people, then most people get help. So that's what the racial disparity and disproportionality is about. Disproportionality is about. Excuse my blooper. That's $1 million. Thank you. So the next one is recidivism. So let's talk about what recidivism is. Now, that's another big word that I didn't understand. Recidivism means it's just a cycle, right? It's a cycle, like a domestic violence cycle, like a gambling problem, like a behavior problem. It is consistent. The recidivism talks about the families that work really hard to get their children out of child welfare, and then 2 months, 1 month, 1 week, 1 year, the case is opened up again and the children are detained again. So this She Navigators program that we offer, that's available to you, it gives you an opportunity to understand some of these barriers, some of these situations, understand how do you communicate with your worker, understand we need to break the ice between me and the foster parent, or me and my mother. You know, it may not be a foster parent. It may be a family member. It may even be a friend. Because if you have my child, you have authority over me. I'm going to lie on you. I'm going to do all of these different things to make you look bad because now you're looking at me. And then after the case is closed for a period of time, we all get back together like you're my family and I love you, right? So recidivism, it's a cycle, it's a cycle, it's a cycle. And the way to eliminate recidivism is to work on protective factors. So, if you're interested in any of these things that I talked about today and you could benefit from our support here at Two Lifestyles, click the link below, sign up for a session. We have a 30 to 45-minute session. We can do an assessment or an intake to see if this is something that you can utilize so we can help you navigate through your child welfare system. My name is Latoya. Thank you so much.